Hi, I am live. I am so sorry I'm 2 minutes late. That kind of transition, right? Transitions can be tough, but I am here and I made it. And welcome everyone to Illuminating the Sunday Stories, or Illuminating the Sunday Scaries that bind us. And I welcome everybody who's here live. And then, of course, I know there's some people who just listen to the recording. So welcome however you are getting this. And this is, I think, our fifth Sunday together and doing this. So I'm very excited. I have something very special today. A person reached out to me earlier this week. Their name is Teddy, and they reached out to talk about a Sunday scary that they have. And I'm going to be sharing that. And I hope that those of you who are out there can help support this person through various comments, or maybe you can even relate, or maybe you even know somebody who can relate. So I am very much looking forward to that part of it today. Yes. So as you know, I usually like to begin by just setting up the space. It's always important when we do work like this that we take the time to create the space. So if you haven't already, grab a cup of tea. I always feel like if we can make this as relaxing as possible, so maybe getting yourself a cup of tea. Again, this was a special gift for Christmas to me, and you can see it says be present, which I feel like is always a shortcut to peace, and some of the things that we're hoping to get out of these Illuminating the Sunday Scaries. So first of all, cup of tea. You may also want to get something to write with. So things that we do today may bring up insights that you want to make sure that you write down. The other thing that I invite is just confidentiality. So sometimes there's names that may come up in the chat boxes or things like that. And just if we can all hold the idea of whatever happens in here just stays in here, and whatever is shared in here is just used for this purpose. The other thing I always like to just put out there is just a willingness. So feeling a sense of willingness and openness and wonder. Some of the stuff that we do may be something that you've never done before. Some of the mindfulness work, or even the parts work that we're going to do, may be something that brings up certain things. So just having that willingness and openness to heal, learn, and grow. A sense of curiosity is always good. I always like to call it gentle curiosity, so that there isn't this judgment, which is another thing. I always encourage everyone when we do this work to practice non-judgment, and instead practice compassion towards yourself and compassion towards the other people that are participating. And last, but certainly not least, is to have fun and trust the process and trust this work. It's not therapy, and it doesn't take the place of therapy, but this can be used as another tool that you have in your toolbox. And of course, you can reach out to a therapist if you don't have one already and bring some of your insights. But just knowing that this is just a tool and a workshop to help you get to know yourself more, understand what anxieties you may be having on Sunday that are taking away your ability to just enjoy your Sunday and going into the week. So before I talk a little bit more about what Teddy reached out to me and shared this week, I just want to talk about why we're doing this, right? So everyone who understands that anxiety that you get on Sunday before you go into your week knows that Sunday scaries are real, and they rob you from any sort of enjoyment that you may experience on your Sunday. And Sunday is supposed to be this awesome day. So you may be, relaxing, enjoying time with your family, enjoying a book, or even enjoying, the outdoors, and suddenly you're just taken away by whatever it is that you have tomorrow. Another thing that may happen, which relates to what I'm going to share about Teddy today, is you may be robbed of your sleep, right? So Sunday evening or Sunday night during your sleep, you may awake in the middle of the night or get up earlier than you want to get, and your mind is just flooded with whatever Sunday scaries that you may have, dreading the week. So together we're going to work on this, and that the goal of this work is to empower you to work through some of your Sunday scaries so that you're in front of them instead of them being in front of you. So we will be doing that today. And really, I'm hoping that the more we do this, not only the more self-aware you are, but also you feel like you're more empowered to go into your week, and you feel more on a positive note going into your week instead of a dreadful note going into your week. And just remembering that awareness is 50% of the solution. I always say that, always bring that up. And so that's what a lot of what we do with these illuminating the Sunday stories or Sunday scaries is about awareness. Because just think, if you have a problem and you become more aware, that's 50% of the solution. It allows us to get ahead of it instead of it being ahead of us. One of the other things that I really try to cultivate in this work is your connection with your own inner wisdom. So really, I try to facilitate you in accessing your own wisdom. And you'll see in my work how I do that. So we'll be using mindfulness. So I do guide everyone in a mindfulness exercise or a guided meditation. You are going to work on identifying the part that may be hijacking your system, and identifying a tool that can help empower you in facing the week. So I think let's just dive into what Teddy shared with me this week. So Teddy reached out to me and expressed that when they first saw this whole idea of Sunday Scaries go across their social media, it gave them incredible pause. And they were like, wait, is that what I'm experiencing? Is that why I haven't slept well in years? Is that why, especially on Sunday nights, I struggle with getting a good night's sleep? And just this anxiety and dread I have in the week. And, one of the first things that Teddy said to me was, you gave me a name, you gave me something to name it. And so now I'm having this flood of reflection and ideas of why it must have, gotten there. So excuse me, I do have notes here that I'm going to be referring to, because I just want to make sure that I get everything in this very, very courageous and brave sharing that Teddy had with me this week. So basically, Teddy, if we do it in chronological order, and as Teddy paused and said, okay, so why do I have these Sunday scaries? Why am I dreading the week? There's so many reasons you're going to see in this story. You're going to understand and talk about compassion. I really trust that all of us are going to feel compassion. And I really encourage those of you who are watching to comment and offer compassion for Teddy. So there's a lot going on in Teddy's life presently, and we'll get to that. But there is this whole history that has led to now. And you can see how it has built and built. So Teddy lost their mother when they were 20. So 20 years old, loses their mother to breast cancer. And though Teddy showed up for their family and completely took over. They were away at school when this happened. They came home and they completely took over. They did not process the grief until 20 years later. And they also then became dedicated in understanding grief and even became a volunteer for hospice and went to graduate school for counseling so that they learned more and more about grief and how to process grief and how to help others with grief. Okay, so that's going back, right? Yeah, and so then there did come a day where Teddy was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so first they had a lumpectomy and then found out that they could not tolerate the medications that they had put them on to prevent cancer. So had to stop those meds. And then there was a time in there where there was some relief for Teddy, and it seemed like, okay, they'd solved it. There still was, difficulty with, some of the medications and having to then go on, other medications to help the side effects with some medications. And you know the whole story. But then they did have another mammogram where they found some more. And so there was a mastectomy on the left and then a lumpectomy on the right, more medication, more side effects, right? So again, see how this is all building up, not sleeping through the night. So then, having to go to the bathroom multiple times during the night. And if you could think about then all of the doctor's appointments, right? And they did tell me, so let's see how many. There's 2 doctors, 3 counselors, and 4 specialists. So I want you to just imagine Teddy's calendar, right? So just imagine Teddy's calendar and imagine their Sunday, right? So they know, and they were describing to me, like, picture a calendar, right? With all the blank boxes, like picture, going into a month, let alone a week, and just slowly each box is filled with appointments and doctor's appointments, specialist appointments, physical therapy, name it, and it's on there. And maybe, peppered with some social things, but that's very limited, especially with COVID. And you can just feel what Teddy is going through. So I feel very moved and honored that learning about Sunday Scaries gave Teddy pause to say, oh my goodness, that's what's happening to me. I dread my week because it's just full of appointments. It's just full of medical appointments. So again, if there's anyone that can relate, please comment, or anyone that has compassion, please comment. And Teddy, I invite you to participate in some of the exercises today, and you can let us know what comes up for you as you try and work through the various scaries that you've identified. So before you've even participated in this work, you've identified these scaries, where they come from, what has caused them. And I know that we can all completely understand and see how normal it is that you dread going into a week full of medical appointments. And, just that sense of, what is there to look forward to? And you never know what's going to come up. And then there's a whole medication aspect. So on that note, I'm going to invite everyone to just take a moment right now. I'm going to guide you in a mindfulness exercise that's just going to allow you to get quiet and see what comes up as some of your Sunday stories. Okay. So, again, going back to the beginning, some of the things I said, if you haven't done mindfulness work before, I encourage you to try it with gentle curiosity and to just trust the process. Basically, you're just going to be leaning on my guidance and what I direct you to do and guide you to do in the exercise. And I just encourage you to do it with an open mind and see what you discover about yourself. All right, so I'm going to just take a sip of water and just taking a moment right now and just feeling yourself supported by the chair that you are sitting in. So wherever you are, however you are, feeling yourself supported by the chair that you're sitting in, or maybe you're lying down, whatever it is. And if your feet are touching the ground, I always like to help bring the energy to your feet. Maybe feel your feet supported by the floor or the ground. And the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just connect with your breath. There isn't anything else that you need to do right now other than connect with your breath, noticing what it feels like on your inhale, noticing what it feels like on the exhale. And a lot of times when we first get quiet, that's when our mind starts to race or emotions come up or physical sensations. And if that happens, there's no judgment. It's not good or bad, right or wrong. Just notice whatever it is. And for right now, just bring your attention back to your breath. So in this quiet space, I just want you to take a moment to just notice what you are feeling physically. So just notice any physical sensations that you may be having. And again, you don't have to judge it as good or bad, right or wrong. Just notice it. Maybe if you're feeling it around your Sunday scaries, you may be feeling tension in your chest, or you may be feeling shortness of breath, whatever it is, just notice it, name it. And again, you don't have to judge it as good or bad or right or wrong, and just bring your attention back to your breath. The next thing I want you to check in on is how you're feeling. So, are you feeling anxiety going into your week? Are you feeling dread? Are you feeling anger or frustration? Just noticing whatever feelings or emotions are coming up for you right now. And again, not judging them as good or bad, right or wrong, just noticing them and taking note of them. And last, I invite you to notice what the stories are. In other words, just noticing your thoughts. Notice whatever stories or thoughts or scaries you have going through your mind. So in Teddy's case, it may be knowing all the appointments that they have and the unknown of every scheduled appointment. For some of you, you may be overwhelmed with all that you need to do this week and just not sure you're going to be able to get to all the things that you need to get to. And others, you may have something else that's weighing on you this Sunday. So just again, without any judgment of good or bad, right or wrong, noticing your thoughts and taking note of that. So just feeling yourself supported by the chair you're sitting in. Again, noticing the quality of air, noticing any sounds, and just coming back to us being together. And I invite those of you, I know it takes bravery and courageousness, but just anything that you may have experienced during that exercise. So any physical sensations, any emotions, any thoughts related to your Sunday Scaries that you would like to share that may be helpful, or anything else from the experience. So a lot of times there's a delay in the comments. For whatever reason, they don't get to me right away. So I'm just going to take a moment right now and take a couple of minutes, sip my tea, and if anything comes up, I will share with you. I know sometimes I share what comes up for me, and I definitely had a moment where when I just started to get quiet, like I started to remember things that I need to make sure I remember that I need to do this week. And so that can be another thing that just takes us out of our present moment on a Sunday, and we lose all enjoyment because we're thinking of that good old to-do list or all that you have to do. That's just one example. Okay. So feel free. I'm going to move into the second part right now, and the second exercise. But for anyone that does have a comment that they wish to share, anything like that, please, at any point, put it up there. So going into this next part, and I will use Teddy as well to just help us work with this part. So I love to use basic parts work from internal family systems. So internal family systems is an approach by Dr. Richard Schwartz. And it is this amazing approach that we all have an internal family system, right? So we all know that we have an external family system, and we all know that there's different roles and there's different dynamics. This approach talks about there being a system within us. And we have different parts. We have a perfectionist part. We have an anxious part. We may have a health anxiety part, right? So that could definitely be what Teddy is experiencing. And these parts are all trying to help us, right? So they're really, a lot of these parts are trying to protect us or try to manage our system. So a lot of times these parts are trying to serve us, and it's just a matter of us understanding them and making sure that the part isn't in the lead. For example, let me explain. So if a health anxiety part is in the lead, then this part may be constantly thinking about our health, what's wrong with us, what may be wrong with us, what we need to get checked, maybe holding on to something that a doctor said, whatever it is. And if that part is in the lead, then that's all that's happening. Versus if our self with a capital S. So in IFS, or internal family systems, there is the self with a capital S. And the goal of everything is to be self-led. So self with a capital S has all of these qualities that are behind me. They're calm and connected. Our self is compassionate and creative, curious, confident, and courageous. So when we can connect with that self energy and we lead from that, we lead from a very calm and connected place, from a very confident, and courageous place. So the health anxiety is there as a consultant. We can check in with the health anxiety part and we can understand what it may be going through and what it may be trying to protect in our system, but it's not in the lead. So that may be really complicated, but all that I want to do is I want to guide you in an exercise. So Teddy and everyone out there, I want to guide you in an exercise that helps you to start connecting with these parts. So some of you may not have the health anxiety part. Some of you may be anxious about time management, or some of you may be anxious with scheduling. Some of you may be anxious about something completely different. Some of you may be experiencing grief and you have a grief part. Some of you may be having a guilt part because of something that happened this weekend. Whatever it is, this work helps you to become more aware of it. And remember, awareness is 50% of the solution. And then it also helps you to get to know this part. And that may seem like a little bit weird. And you may be like, what is Jen talking about? But the more that we can become aware of these parts and the more that we can connect with these parts, the more we can then use them to our benefit instead of having them hijack and take over us and completely take over our system, take over our Sundays, and take over our week. So I invite you, Teddy, and everyone who's participating right now. And what I want you to do is I'm going to have you get quiet again. And I'm going to guide you through just a very, very basic parts work in terms of getting to know this part. So just taking a moment right now and just reconnecting with where we were before. And that is just feeling yourself supported by the chair that you're sitting in, feeling your feet supported by the floor, and just taking a moment to connect with your breath. What's important about connecting with our breath is it usually is a shortcut to calm. If you're just paying attention to what it feels like when your body inhales and what your body exhales, it slows down the mind, literally slows down the mind. So I invite you right now to be doing that. So from this place of calm and quiet, I want you to bring to the forefront whatever part you've identified. So for Teddy, it may be this health anxiety, or maybe you want to call it medical appointment overload part, whatever name resonates. Others, you may be experiencing like the scheduling anxiety. And so maybe that's what I usually call the part, is a scheduler. Really, it's just anything that resonates for you about the part that is hijacking your Sunday right now. So whatever part is hijacking your Sunday right now, or the part that hijacks you in the middle of the night, just identifying it and giving it a name. There may be some of you out there that has a martyr or a savior or a fixer part. Those parts can steal your joy in the beginning of the week as well, just wanting to make sure you make everything okay for everybody. Whatever it is that comes up, I want you to allow that part to come to the forefront. And I want you to notice where in your body you feel this part. And I want you to notice everything that you feel with this part. So just noticing where, when you bring, so Teddy, whatever you ended up naming your part, when you bring that part to the forefront, what do you feel physically? And everyone else, those of you who are live, those of you who are watching the recording, just taking, or will be watching the recording, just taking a moment right now to let the part be at the forefront and noticing what you feel physically. And just anything you can describe about what that part feels like physically. So is it in your chest, and is it a racing? Is it in your stomach? Is, butterflies, whatever it is, just gathering as much information as you can about that. So again, without any judgment, with just compassion and curiosity, noticing what that part feels like physically. Once you know what that part feels like physically, I want you to, in your mind's eye, imagine separating from the part. I know that sounds strange, but just in your imagination, in your mind's eye, imagine the part separating from your body, or in internal family systems, they call it unblending, and putting this part at a conversation distance from you. So I will always imagine it. And sometimes it comes up in different places. Like I will actually envision the setting and I'll see the part sitting across from me. Sometimes I have clients think about it while they're just in the office, and I'll say, just imagine the part sitting at a conversation distance from us here in the office. So wherever you see it in your imagination, I want you to imagine this part. So Teddy, the health anxiety or anxiety around the medical appointments part. And just notice what you see. Some people see a part of themselves, whether it's a younger part of themselves or it's a present part of themselves. Some people see cartoon characters, some people see colors. Again, no judgment whatsoever. Just notice whatever it is that formulates or forms in front of you. And just, again, take that as information and connect with your breath. And the next question that I'm going to guide you in exploring is, what do you feel towards this part? So this is really important. So sometimes people feel frustrated with the part. Sometimes people feel sad for the part. They feel really sad how much angst that they're experiencing or feeling. So whatever it is, I want you to just identify what it is that you're feeling. And if it's anything other than curiosity and compassion, I want you to try and bring yourself to a place of just neutral curiosity and compassion towards this part. And I want you to ask this part 2 questions. And again, just with that neutral, non-judgmental curiosity, just ask this part 2 questions and notice what it tells you. It's amazing. Just listen and notice what it tells you. So the first question is, what is your intention and what is your purpose in taking over my system? So Teddy, for you, it would be, what is your intention in keeping me up at night? What is your intention in waking me up hours before I need to wake up? And just listen to whatever comes up. And so it's really interesting. And those of you who are feeling brave and courageous and you want to share whatever is coming up for you in this, whether it's about the part or whether it's the intention or purpose that you heard, you know, a lot of times the part is trying to help us. So the part may be trying to prepare us for the week. Um, and maybe that's one of the things that's coming up. Okay. Okay. Um, so, yeah. So the part, so for example, for Teddy, Teddy may be feeling, um, the part, I don't know, right? Teddy's an expert of their parts and their parts will tell them. But one thing that their part may be saying is, I am trying to prepare you for these appointments. If I have you on high alert, um, then you will be ready for these doctor's appointments and you'll be ready to hear all that the doctors need to tell you, so on and so forth. So that's an example of sometimes why the parts think that they're taking care of you and they're helping you. I know for me, the part that was, probably my scheduler, like, oh, don't forget, you need to record that meditation or whatever. That part saying, I don't want you to forget anything. So I'm just trying to let you know. The thing is that these parts work in overtime. These parts work in overdrive. So they hijack our system. They hijack our Sunday. And suddenly we're not feeling calm. We're not feeling connected. We're not feeling confident or creative. We're just feeling angst and tired. So a lot of times we need to thank the part, like, thank you. Thank you for looking out for me and making sure that I remember everything I need to do. Thank you for looking out for me and trying to prepare me for these medical appointments that I have, right? Sometimes we need to just thank them and then let them know. But you're taking over my Sunday. You're waking me up in the middle of the night. So I need you to calm down and I need you to step back. And it's amazing. Sometimes these parts will, they first of all appreciate the chance to voice things. And yes, I'm personifying parts, and it doesn't mean that you have multiple personalities disorder or anything like that, or dissociative identity disorder. It's just, it's this amazing healing imaginative process. So stay with me and stay curious. But the parts already start to lose their charge because they're getting a chance to voice what's happening to them. They're being heard, they're being acknowledged, they're being thanked for their role in their system. Because again, they have the best of intentions trying to balance your system. But then it is important to say, but listen, I don't want to wake up hours earlier than my alarm. I don't want to wake up. So what do you need? This is the second question, and this is very important. What do you need in order to calm down? What do you need in order to step back and allow me to have a night of sleep? Or what do you need to calm down and step back and allow me to enjoy my Sunday? Or what do you need to allow me to go into my week with more positivity? So whatever, ask the question and listen and see what comes up. And again, those of you watching that feel brave and courageous and want to add a comment, please do. So when I just checked in and asked my part about what it needed to like help me enjoy the rest of my Sunday and step back and calm down, it said that it needed to know that I was going to have a structured amount of time to do the things that I need to do. And Teddy, if you're out there and you're doing this work, please feel free to shoot me a comment about maybe what came up for you in terms of what the part needs in order to calm down or step back. It would be interesting to know what the health anxiety or the anxiety around the medical appointments needs in order to just let you sleep. Again, you're the expert of your parts, but it may say something like, I need you to trust that you're going to be okay. I need you to know that you're safe. I don't know. Only you and your parts can have that kind of conversation. But sometimes it helps to just start to throw things out. In past weeks, it's, told people like you need to break your schedule into smaller parts or into smaller bites. Other people, it may be you need to go for a walk. You need to do something relaxing. You need to journal. You need to do more creative things. That was one that we had last week that was great. It talked about, having more creative expression. Yeah. So again, thanking this part for whatever information it shared with you, whatever wisdom it shared with you, and just acknowledging whatever that wisdom is. So, and letting this part know that you are going to incorporate it. So sometimes it may be a practice, sometimes it may be a quality or a characteristic. Sometimes it comes through in a quote or an image or a song. Whatever it is, just let the part know you're going to continue to work on doing that and, see what comes up. Oh, okay. All right. So unfortunately, I just got a text from Teddy that they left Facebook and then they tried to come back in and they weren't able to come back in. So let me see. I will try to send them the link again because maybe they had something they wanted to share that came up, but maybe not. So I'm just texting them this. But it's okay. Does anyone out there want to share what came up for them with their parts work? Again, I know it takes courageousness and bravery, but it really helps all of us if you share whatever comes up. And like I said, mine was finding just letting the part know that there's going to be this time that I'm going to work on the things that I need to do this week. And that can calm the part down because it's like, okay, I don't need to remind you. I don't need to like have you ruminate and constantly obsess over this because you've already designated time for it. Right. And for Teddy, maybe it's the idea that, okay, you are confident. You are trustworthy or trusting that you can handle these appointments and that you're going to be okay no matter what. Whatever it is, whatever wisdom it is, just acknowledging it and using it. And so taking that, I always like to then wrap up this parts work by having you take a moment right now and Thank the part for any wisdom that it shared with you. Let the part know that you're going to continue to connect with it and continue to get to know it and continue this journey of helping your system calm on Sundays so that you can enjoy the rest of your Sunday and enjoy your week. Just letting that part know you're not letting this go, that you're going to keep working on it. Right. And for Teddy, letting the part know we're going to keep working on this because I want to enjoy my Sundays and I want to enjoy my sleep and feel well rested going into my week. And next, just taking a moment right now, this kind of just brings it full circle. And in your mind's eye, inviting the part to reintegrate with your system. So imagining the part coming back into your system, but perhaps now it's a little bit lighter. And a lot of times people say you feel calmer. So just inviting the part back into your system and then taking a deep breath to let it integrate. So, okay. So what I'm going to do right now, even though I know Teddy has been off and on getting texts through here, but I am going to pull a card for Teddy, and I would like to pull a card for the rest of you who have participated today, and so a card that may help you. So, So I want to use these cards again this week. So what I like about these oracle cards is they're just really short, brief, and to the point. And I think that's kind of what we need when we do this. But they're beautiful and powerful and potent all the same. So I am going to just shuffle these and basically ask the cards. Ask the divine wisdom or the universal wisdom or whatever it is that you believe in. Oracle cards are pretty magical. It's amazing what will come up, but I'm just going to ask the cards to share wisdom for Teddy. So we're going to do Teddy first, and then the rest of you will be next. So just sharing wisdom for Teddy to help Teddy with this anxiety on Sundays going into a week full of appointments. And the card that is here is worthy. I know my own worth. Change me, divine beloved, into one who knows my own worth. Let me feel entitled to speak my truth with love. May I know that I deserve to be surrounded by those who value me. So I don't know, Teddy, if that resonates for you. Only you can know what that brings up for you. But one of the things that I thought of is like, you're worthy of feeling calm. You're worthy of your sleep. You're worthy of peace and joy in this life. Those are the thoughts that are coming to me, but you may have something else, and hopefully it relates. Hopefully it relates. Okay, the next thing is for the rest of you. So I just want to pull a card for the rest of you. So this is just a card of wisdom for all the other listeners. Thank you for showing up today. Please come back. And if you feel brave and courageous, always love your comments, because if you're commenting on something, chances are someone else needs it too. So I encourage you to do so. It's also healing for you. How perfect is this? The card, relax. Relax. Perfect for everybody on these Sunday Scaries. I receive all blessings. Oh, beloved, change me into one who knows how to relax completely, sleep deeply, and receive all the blessings of every moment exactly as it presents itself, with ease and gratitude. So, oh, beloved, change me into one who knows how to relax completely, sleep deeply, and receive all the blessings of every moment exactly as it presents itself with ease and gratitude. That's a good one for you too, Teddy. Just so you know, that's a good one for you too. All right. Thank you so much for everyone who showed up today. And just remembering that if there was something that came up for you here that you would like to investigate further, I do have other illuminating services. One is you can send me a letter, it's anonymous, and you just fill out a form that shares something that you are working on. So it could be a Sunday scary, it could be a story that you feel like is binding you. And so you share that with me, and I will write back my advice about that. So that's the first thing I'm going to put out there. The next thing is if you ever want to be a guest on my podcast, again, that's anonymous. We guide you in sharing a story that is binding you, because again, the power of illuminating it and then having it heard and witnessed. And then we prescribe a song. So using music to help you break through whatever story is binding you. So that's this next form that I'm sending. And last but not least, if you feel the desire to donate. So you received something from today and you feel like you would love to offer a monetary exchange. I'm going to share that with you right now, and you just do it through Square. And I thank you in advance for doing that. I really appreciate it. I donate this time because I'm so passionate about spreading this and having people enjoy their Sundays, enjoy their weeks, enjoy their lives more. And but it is always nice to also receive a financial exchange as well. So thank you all so much again for taking the time to do this. Again, this is fairly new, so feel free to offer any feedback or anything that you wish to see, or you could do what Teddy did if you want to send a story to me in advance to help use during this time together. And I just hope all of you have a wonderful, peaceful, relaxing Sunday and a fantastic week. And thanks. I'm so sorry I was a little bit late. I really appreciate your patience, and take good care, everybody. Bye.